Salutations YouTube and welcome back to the MVRR. This time around we'll be doing a review of the Lionel Lionchief Union Pacific Steamin Flyer Freight Set. Wow, ain't that a mouthful. Anyway, this is a starter set. It was a dealer exclusive starter set, excuse me. It was last available in the 2015 Ready to Run catalog. I acquired this particular set through a dealer in Pennsylvania. I believe Grizaboski's is their name. I probably butchered that horribly, but there will be a link in the description. I highly recommend you go check them out. This particular set is kind of significant to me because it was the first new Lionel train I ever bought. I did have a Lionel train before this, but it was just basically a loop of track, a post-war 2026, and a couple of cars. It was way before I did the layout right here or anything what I would call going overboard. Another particular reason this set is kind of significant to me is that when I was purchasing this, all the Lionchief sets were on sale, but this one was kind of the best pick of the three because out of all of them, this had one extra car, but it cost the same amount of money as the rest of them. So that's why I picked this particular one. Anyway, pardon the stuttering, been having another heck of a day trying to get this particular video filmed. But anyway, moving on. To start the show, we have the 080 switcher. Nothing particularly fancy about this particular locomotive. Lionel's been making these for years. I can remember seeing these in the catalogs back when I was a kid in the 90s, and they were all conventional. Only real thing to have changed between then and now is Lionchief. Me personally, could take it or leave it. It's very user-friendly to use, but I don't know. I guess I'm old-fashioned. I like the old Transformers, but I'll still use it. Works equally well. So for getting back to the locomotive, so far as details go, it's got a lot of cast-in detail. I guess this is what you would call a semi-scale locomotive. Not a lot of separately applied stuff, not the greatest shake in the world, but it is a good running little locomotive. Hasn't given me any trouble these past few years I've had it. Like the print, like the road name, like the sounds, like the smoke, like everything about it. It's a good little engine. I do have a couple little pet peeves, namely, while the locomotive is die-cast, tender's plastic. In a perfect world, it would be metal along with the locomotive, but hey, gotta save a few pennies somewhere, I suppose. Another little niggle, backup light could work. It's just, headlight works, but the backup light doesn't work. Oh well. And the couplers. This is a operating coupler, while this is a dummy coupler. Not quite a big a deal for a starter set, but for a little switch engine like this, kind of important to have working couplers on both ends when you're working in a yard or picking up and dropping cars out of sidings like I have on this little part of the layout. Well, indeed, over here on this part of the layout too. Be kind of nice to have working couplers on both ends. Anyway, moving on. Next item in the set is the Southern Pacific Hydra Cushion Boxcar. As with the locomotive, no real add-on details of any great degree. We do have brake wheels, but this is what Lionel terms their standard O line. This is what they put in most of their train sets, and what they consider their budget line, I suppose. It does have operating doors. All in all, a good little boxcar. One thing I do like about this on this particular set, all the cars save the Caboose have got sprung trucks on them. Wow. I mean, that's something special. You don't see that every day. And they do, well, don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but there we go. They do work up and down as the car goes down the track, which I think is pretty cool. Working couplers on both ends. Next item in the pack, or set, excuse me, is a Union Pacific Gondola. No, oh, excuse me, not a gondola, a hopper, coal hopper. I always get those two mixed up. As with the boxcar, mostly cast-in detail. It is a semi-scale, but we do have these nice little sprung trucks, which I do like. Coal load, It's plastic. If I was going to redo this, if I could figure out how to get it out of here without breaking anything, I'd probably make an insert and use some of my more aquarium gravel coal simulant that I used on my British locomotive project. That's another video here on the channel if you care to check it out. Next car on the list is a Great Northern Piggyback car. This is, out of all the cars in the set, this one's my favorite. The Great Northern Road name, I can't really feature. I guess it's considered a Western road like all the others. I do like the paint. I do like the fact that the trailers are modeled after the old post-war ones and they come off, which would be great for, you know, like a container yard or so forth. This one actually has metal base, which I'm kind of impressed about. At least I think it's metal. It certainly is heavy enough. I think maybe the frame is plastic, but this cross member here is actually metal, which I do like. Another semi-scale car. And last but certainly not least, the Union Pacific Armor Yellow Caboose. Does not have the sprung trucks on it, but it is lit. I do like the paint scheme on this one. Fairly basic as cabooses go, but I do like it. Gets a lot of use with the other Union Pacific locomotives I have in the fleet when I'm running freight. Okay. Now that we got the preliminaries out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and fire this thing up and show you how it runs. So, first order of business there. Go plug in the ZW to get some track power. There we go. Put some power down on the track. Turn our remote on. I will say you can turn the sound and the smoke off via switches underneath the cab here. I usually tend to run the locomotive without sound because I like hearing the noise of the rails, but I do like to leave the smoke on. And for this review, I figured I'd go ahead and show you what it sounded like with the sounds. So first off, we've got our whistle, our bell, and we got our crew talk.
Dispatcher here. You are cleared outbound. Over. Thank you much. Cleared outbound. Out. Dispatcher here. You are cleared outbound. Over. Thank you much. Cleared outbound. Out.
Oops. Oops. Figures you get the camera rolling and things start going wrong. But anyway, there we go. There we go.
Train is moving. Over. Roger that. Dispatcher here. All clear ahead. Train is moving. Over. Roger that. Dispatcher out. Dispatcher here. You're all clear ahead. Over. Roger that. Making good time. Out.
And even though the smoke unit,
You're all clear ahead. Over. Roger that. Making good time. Out.
even though the smoke unit is an old-fashioned puffer type, it does put out a prodigious amount of smoke. Kind of a problem in a little room like this. But I love the smoke rings. Absolutely love the smoke rings. Okay, bring it into a halt. Go ahead and turn the sound off. Oh, wrong one. Other side. Gotta be up in here somewhere. There it is. There we go. There we go. It's purely personal preference which one you use. I always like to hear it without the sound because I like the clickety-clack. And of course, even with the chuffing and the air compressor off, you still get all the sounds. And there we have it. That is the Lionel Lionchief Union Pacific Steamin Flyer set. Got any questions, comments, please feel free to put them down in the comment box below, and I'll get to answering you as soon as I can. And I guess in conclusion, thanks for watching. See ya.